I created my OnlyFans account 3 months after my divorce was finalized. My ex-husband had left me for someone younger, and the settlement barely covered the legal fees. I was 38, working retail part-time, and staring at overdue bills I had no way to pay when a friend brought up OnlyFans as a joke one night. By the time I got home, I'd made an account. At first, it felt empowering to know that people out there still thought I was beautiful. They wanted to see me and paid just to talk to me. The validation filled the void the divorce had hollowed out, and the income meant I could keep my apartment and stop lying awake, doing math about which bills to pay first. Most of my subscribers seemed harmless, and soon enough I got good at responding without thinking too hard about who was on the other end of the screen. One of them was Watcher 67. His first message came late on a Thursday night in mid-February. I was in my bedroom, finishing up a live stream, when a notification appeared, telling me I should close my curtains, that my room could be seen clearly from the street. I looked up at my window. The curtains were wide open, and I could see my reflection in the dark glass. I got up and yanked them closed so hard the rod nearly came off the wall. The comment made me uneasy. I stared at my phone, trying to decide if it was a lucky guess or something worse.
Maybe he'd seen my address in a video background?
I muttered. I reassured myself that it was nothing and went to bed with every light off. The sound of glass breaking downstairs jolted me awake. The digital clock on my bedside table read 2 a.m. I sat up in my bed, my heart already hammering before my brain fully processed what I'd heard. The house was dead silent. I waited, holding my breath, telling myself I'd imagined it. Maybe it was a stray cat or something. Then, I heard footsteps echoing through the silence. My breath hitched. Someone had broken in. I searched for my phone but couldn't find it in the dark. I thought about running for the door, but I'd have to go past the stairs to get there. So, I did the only thing I could think of. I crawled into my closet, pulled the door shut, and crouched in the back corner behind my hanging clothes. The footsteps moved through the first floor. I could track them by the creaking floorboards. They were in my kitchen before they approached the stairs. Each step was slow and measured, like whoever it was had all the time in the world. I pressed my hand over my mouth to keep from making a sound. My bedroom door was open. I heard the footsteps cross the threshold and stop. They were in my room, maybe 5 feet away. Hiding won't save you, sweetheart. I could see light bleeding under the closet door from a flashlight or phone. 5 minutes passed. Then, he stopped outside the closet door. I squeezed my eyes shut, begging God to save me. The handle turned, and the door creaked open, inch by inch. I was crying without making a sound. Tears ran down my face, certain this was it. This was how I died, in my closet at 38 years old because I'd been too desperate and lonely to think clearly about what putting myself online might cost. Light flooded in. I peeked through my lashes and saw his shadow standing there, panting like he'd been running, even though I knew he hadn't.
Please.
My brain kept chanting. Suddenly, the man stopped. His breathing grew quiet. He took one step back, shook his head, and whispered, "No, not today." After that, I heard his footsteps retreat across my bedroom, into the hallway, and down the stairs. The back door opened, and then slammed shut. I stayed in that closet for another 20 minutes before I could make myself move. When I finally came out, I called 911, my hands shaking so badly I had to dial 3 times. The police found the broken window in my kitchen where he'd gotten in. They took my statement and searched the house, but, as expected, found nothing else. One officer asked if I had an ex-boyfriend who might want to scare me. I said no. I didn't mention the OnlyFans account because I couldn't bear the look I knew I'd get. I deleted my account that night, packed 2 suitcases and left the apartment the next morning. I crashed on a friend's couch for about 3 weeks before moving 3 hours away to a town where nobody knew me. I got a job waiting tables where I could keep my back to the wall and see everyone who came in. It's been years, I've built a stable life that doesn't involve cameras, strangers, or anything that might make me visible to people I can't see. But sometimes, at night, I still wake up thinking about what he said. And I wonder if he left that night because something stopped him, or because he was just rehearsing for the day he'd finally decide to show up. Because a tiny part of me knows he's still out there, waiting for the right day to say, yes, today. I subscribed to Lily Rose's OnlyFans on a Tuesday night in March after scrolling through my feed with nothing else to do. I was 34, lived alone, and worked as an accountant, where nobody talked about anything except spreadsheets. Her profile said she was a model who lived in the same city. We started talking a week later. Lily Rose was nothing like I expected. She hardly cared about what I could afford and was more interested in how I was. By the third week, I was checking my phone constantly, waiting for her name to appear. About a month later, she invited me over. She said she wanted to film exclusive content with someone she trusted. Her address was in a quiet suburb, and she told me she'd be waiting for me the following evening. Every rational part of my brain told me to turn her down. She might be nice, but I hardly knew her. Still, I was lonely, and Lily Rose had made me feel seen in a way nobody had in a long time. So, I went. The house was an ordinary single-story building with pale blue siding and a small porch adorned with potted plants. I rang the bell, and she answered almost immediately.
Ethan! Oh my god, please come in.
She giggled, tucking a stray strand behind her ear. I gave her an awkward smile, suddenly hyper-aware of how absolutely stunning she was. She had to be at least a decade younger than me. Inside, the living room was clean and sparsely furnished. We sat and talked for a while. All the while, my heart was doing somersaults in my chest. About 10 minutes later, she stood.
This way.
I swallowed hard and followed her down the hallway toward what I assumed was her bedroom. We were just a couple of feet from the closed door when loud footsteps echoed behind me. I turned to see an old woman standing in the kitchen doorway. She was lean and slightly stooped. Her wrinkled face resembled Lily Rose's if she were older, and her gray hair was pulled back in a tight bun.
Ethan? That's Susan, my mom.
Lily Rose muttered. All the softness and warmth from earlier had vanished. Help! Before I could finish, a cloth came over my face from behind. It was damp and reeked of a harsh chemical that burned my throat. I tried to pull away, but their grip was stronger than it should have been. My vision blurred. The last thing I saw was a blank-faced Lily Rose standing in the hallway, watching me collapse. I woke up, tied to a chair, under lights so bright they made my eyes water. My head felt like it had been split open. I looked around and realized we were in an unfinished basement, with cameras on tripods positioned around me. Susan stood in front of me, studying me as if I were a piece of furniture. Lily Rose was behind one of the cameras. The women chatted about numbers and other things as they adjusted the angles.
He's up! He's up!
Lily Rose giggled. Susan glanced over, and her grin made me sick. I opened my mouth to scream, but only a whimper came out.
Relax, love. We'll keep it as quick as possible. Unfortunately for you, they pay more when it drags out and looks real.
She said, pulling out a small blade and pressing it lightly against my forearm.
Cry for the camera.
She giggled, drawing the blade across my skin. Blood welled up and ran down my elbow. I screamed and tried to pull away. The chair tipped backward, and I hit the concrete floor hard enough to see stars. Susan sighed, as if I'd inconvenienced her, and nodded at Lily Rose, who put the camera down and came over. They hauled me in the chair upright.
Don't do that,
Susan hissed, backhanding me across the face so hard my ears rang.
Then we need you conscious.
They filmed the torture for what felt like hours, using tools I'd never seen before. The mother cut me in small places on my arms, shoulders, and collarbone. It wasn't life-threatening, but enough to make me bleed and beg. All the while, Lily Rose kept filming it all. At some point, I stopped screaming and just sat there, numb, certain that death was only